What's going on, you guys? TBR here, back yet again with another King of Fighters All-Star video, and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you all are having a wonderful week. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the latest fest set to be added into the King of Fighters All-Star with the EX Kyo update, that of course being the Successor set. Now, I'm sure you guys have already probably noticed, but yes, we are going to be reverting back to the format of last year for this video, because unfortunately I am traveling for work today, and instead of just not giving you guys a video at all, I figured that this would be a good middle ground. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of footage for some damage comparisons using this card set, and then I'm going to show you guys a little bit of footage with it in action on Akuma. So we are going to be running it through its paces in today's video. But before we go ahead and get into all of that and more, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, first up, real quick, let's go ahead and establish what the Successor set is doing for us. Now, of course, the Successor set is going to increase our attack by 7%, but then it's also going to increase our EX fighters' critical rate by 7% and their critical damage by 70%. It's also going to have a 50% chance to increase EX fighters' attack by 20% for 5 seconds upon landing a critical hit. And in general, we've already established on day one when this guy dropped that this was going to be one of the best overall damage sets in the game currently available for your EX characters, as well as being one of the best overall CP sets in the game, period. And we will be talking about both of those factors in this video, but there is a little bit of information when it comes to the Successor set that a lot of people are going to want to be aware of before they pull for it. Now, this bit of information here is something we have talked about already here on the channel, but I want to go ahead, since we are talking about this in depth today, to go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So, as we've established, the Successor set is going to be good for your EX characters. However, there is a very important topic in regards to this. Whenever you are trying to figure out which characters this card set is going to work on, you're going to need to look for the extreme tag. Now, as you guys can see here on my Akuma is what we have referred to in the past as native EX characters. These are characters that are just going to be EX characters right off the bat when you pull them, such as an EX Kyo currently on the banner. So as you guys can see, the extreme tag is what you're looking for. If you take a look at your roster, we'll just use Rugal here as an example. Of course, Rugal was not a native EX character, so if you take a look here, you are going to notice that he is lacking the extreme tag, even though he has been EX'd. So this is the difference here with this card set. It is not going to work on characters that lack that extreme tag, so you're pretty much just going to want to make sure that you know that going in, because I know some people out there, especially on a character like Bison, were really hoping that they could go ahead and use that to pump up not only his CP, but his overall damage output, and unfortunately it does not work that way. If you were to go ahead and equip it to him, you would get very little. In fact, I can go ahead and show you guys just for the science so you know exactly what I mean. I know that I did this in a previous video to show you guys kind of how this looks, but I figure we'll go ahead and do this now. However, being the fact that we do know that most of the characters that are going to be meta, that are going to be releasing over the course of the next year, are going to be EX, I don't see this as being a big deal, but as you will see, we only got about 1300 CP for equipping that to him. Very, very little, right? So let's go ahead and test it out on Akuma, who does have the extreme tag, right? Just so that you guys can see how much of a massive difference this is going to make. So we'll go ahead and equip this back to our Akuma here, and you guys are going to notice pretty quickly just how much of a difference this is going to make versus what we got on Bison. So if you remember, we got 1300 CP for equipping this to Bison, and if we go ahead and equip it to our Akuma, we are getting 63k. So a huge gulf of difference there. It's going to be pretty obvious whenever you equip this to your characters, whether or not it is working on them or not, but in general, I just figured I would go ahead and first start off with this extreme tag, because there is a delineation and a difference there that you're going to want to know about. So speaking of Akuma, in this video we are going to be using him as pretty much our crash test dummy for this card set. Now when it comes to this card set, I've already told you guys exactly how I feel about it, and I don't feel like that has changed even after being able to test it. This card set in general, in my opinion, being that we now know that the EX characters are the future nature of this game, I do definitely feel like this is going to be a set that you are going to regret missing if you do not get it. Now, we already pretty much knew, based on the fact that it was going to be affecting your crit rate and your crit damage, that this was going to be one of the harder hitting sets in the game, period, but also going to be one of the best CP sets in the game. And the CP part we've already established, but let's talk about the damage output, because I feel like there were a lot of people out there that were questioning whether or not this was going to be a upgrade over some of the previous card sets that we had already had available to us, specifically considering the fact that most of our native EX characters up until this point have been Street Fighter. I know a lot of people have been curious whether or not this is going to be better for a lot of their Street Fighter characters, so I figured in today's video we would use Akuma as our go-ahead example, because I feel like that is going to be one of the better characters to use for this. So that's what you're going to see in the footage. I'm going to be comparing head-to-head, basically, at this point, the Successor set to the Peaceful Days set, right? So the Peaceful Days set, this is going to be, up until this point, the best overall set for Akuma, and I feel like this is the one that you would definitely want to go ahead and test this one against if you're using Akuma, to kind of see the difference, just because these are arguably going to be the best two sets in the game for him in general. So when it comes to my Successor set, I'm sure you guys have already noticed that I do have it mostly transcended. Now, I don't have all of them maxed out. Unfortunately, right now I am out of level up cards to do that. So yeah, I could even use all of these right now and it wouldn't get me to level 60. So it's very, very expensive to do this once you get to these higher transcendent levels. So you guys will just have to bear with me right now. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get these all maxed out at the moment. But when it comes to these here, when it comes to the transcendental effects we can go ahead and take a look at these. So this one here is going to increase Balance type fighters' critical rate, so this one is not going to factor into Akuma. If we take a look at this one here, we are going to notice that this one's going to increase my attack type fighters' critical damage. This is the one that I got extremely lucky on. And then finally, this guy here, unfortunately, I did not get as lucky. This one increases my attack type fighters' defense by 5.8%. So those are my transcendental effects on here. When we get into the testing, I am going to be using this in SPIDERBOT, like I said, against the Peaceful Days set. Now, basically, when it comes to the Peaceful Days set, as you guys are probably already aware, this one's going to increase my overall attack, but then it's also going to increase my Street Fighter V fighters' burn, shock, and chill damage by 75%, and increases attack by 22% for 7 seconds when a Street Fighter V fighter lands an active skill on a cooldown of 10 seconds. In general, this is going to be the de facto best set if you're just trying to buff your overall explosion on your dot. So for my Akuma, of course, that would be his burn. And so therefore, this is going to be a pretty interesting comparison. So when we get into the SPIDERBOT footage, those will be the two card sets that you see represented there. So in general, when it comes to this set, one of the big things a lot of people have asked about and have kind of compared it to has been a Tekken set, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at Tekken set. So if we take a look at Tekken set here, we see that we do increase our attack, right? But then we also increase our critical rate by 10%, we increase our critical damage by 50%, and then our active team members, including the caster, obtain 3% power upon landing a critical hit on a cooldown of 1 second. So in general, I know a lot of people like to compare this set to the Successor set, but I don't necessarily feel like there's a ton of comparison there. I feel like they're both doing very different things. Yes, they are both going to be buffing your crit rate and your critical damage, but you are going to notice not only differences in the overall multipliers and percentages there for both of those things respectively, but you're also going to notice that the Tekken set is going to be there also for your PG. So in general, it is a very different set. However, I would definitely argue that in my opinion, at this point, the Successor set is going to be the better of the two. I think that the Successor set is pretty much going to be the answer for anybody out there who missed the Tekken set and has continued to complain that it has not been rerun. You're probably going to be just as happy with this guy. Even with the restrictions to it, not being able to use this on some of your non-native EX characters, and the fact that it is only going to be good on those extreme tag characters, I still feel like this is going to be a better overall set, and you guys will be able to see, even though that my set is not fully maxed out, I don't even have it fully leveled up, and I don't have proper transcendental effects. Comparing it across across the board to the Peaceful Day set on my Akuma, which has a ton of things working for it right now above and beyond what my Successor set does, by way of the fact that this one is fully maxed out, as well as it being fully transcendental towards my Akuma, or at least for the most part. I think I'm missing one. I've got crit rate for my attack fighters there, and then what else do I got here? I've got my attack type fighters penetration, and I think this one here is not going to be for Akuma. Yeah, so this one still has plenty of perks over my Successor set for my Akuma, so it definitely has the advantage. It's fully leveled up. It has an extra transcendental effect that's working for him on there. So in general, it should definitely be outperforming the Successor set if it's better, but unfortunately for it, it is not. So in the end, the Successor set, spoiler alert, is going to be outperforming it, and you guys are going to be able to see that. Other things that I'm going to be showing you guys in this video, beyond the fact that I'm going to be doing the SPIDERBOT comparisons, I'm also going to be showing you guys a little bit of guild raid footage. You guys are going to see some pretty nice upgrades in my benchmark numbers for my different guild raid difficulties. Now last week, even with the slow-mo issues and the server issues, I was still able to hit some pretty obnoxious numbers using this set on him. Right now I'm hitting about 6.4 to 6.5 billion against Inferno on Omega Rugal, and then in Lunatic I was hitting anywhere between 6 and 6.5 there on Lunatic difficulty, and then when it comes to the Expert difficulty I was hitting almost 8 billion damage. So in general, this card set was a massive upgrade, not just in CP but also in overall raw damage output. So I would definitely say that if a character is native EX right now in this game, this is probably going to be the de facto best in slot for them. You have to consider the fact that you are getting that massive amount of CP that is going to help you in things such as Chapter of Fight, but then you also have to consider the fact that this set is not just a CP set, it is also going to help you do some ridiculously good raw damage. So in general, I think that this is a must-have set. I think if you have the ability to pull for this set and you're lacking a lot of these past card sets in general, that you need to pick this up. I know me personally, I'm looking at maybe getting a second set, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. You guys know, if you saw my pull video for this set, how hard it can be just to get one of these cards. So in general, I will have to kind of think about that a little bit more, but at the end of the day, this is pretty much going to be what you're going to be seeing in today's video as far as comparisons. Now, when I did the comparisons for this guy, just so you guys are aware, basically I just had, if you take a look here, I will show you, I'm sure you guys are well aware of what I'm talking about, but I'll just show all the new people just in case. I used the Strategic Retreat, I used both of those for my option card slots, and then I went ahead and used the Successor set and the Peaceful Day set in my comparisons on SPIDERBOT, just so you guys are aware, so it was apples to apples. And then when we go ahead and we get into the footage in Guild Raid, this is the build that I used here, and this is going to be the stone setup that I used as well for it. So that is going to be what you're going to see in the Guild Raid footage. And again, I used Strategic Retreat for my options, and then I just swapped out the different sets in the SPIDERBOT comparisons. So that's pretty much going to be it for today's video, you guys. I'm going to let you enjoy the footage, and I'm going to get out of here. In general, let me know in the comment section down below how you're liking the Successor set. I know I'm a huge fan, so you guys can let me know in the comment section how you're feeling about it. I definitely think it is a must-have set, and I think if you have the ability to pull it, you definitely do so. But anyway, you guys, that is going to be today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.